I'm Jerry.
I'm Brooke, and we believe in miracles. Alissa is 7 years old, and she's a happy-go-lucky child. She loves to paint.
She always makes me smile, makes me laugh.
When I first started to notice something was going on with Alissa, she was walking funny.
Unfortunately, that's a big red flag for a mass in the brain. So we did a CT scan that day and saw that she had a large mass at the base of her brain. And with her age and the way it looked on the CT scan, it was concerning for a medulloblastoma, which is a type of cancer of the brain. She went to Fort Worth the next day and had it removed. And the genetics came back showing that it was a pretty malignant type of medulloblastoma, meaning that her prognosis is pretty poor.
I mean, it just, one day, everything changed.
They told us that first that they needed to go ahead and have surgery and have her tumor removed. And then from that point, they wanted to do radiation. That was a few months. And then we would take a month break and then follow up with chemo.
Sometimes she would receive treatment here, and often, unfortunately for her, after chemotherapy, her white blood cell count would drop so low, and then she would get a fever. She would have to stay in the hospital to protect herself for a long time, and I was, fortunate enough to be able to take care of her and get to know her a little bit better during that time, and she is an amazing little girl.
Alissa built a very good relationship with the nurses. One of her favorite nurses is Skylar.
I am so attached to Alissa. We all argue to see who will take care of Alissa because we all want to be her nurse. You just have a special place in your heart for certain kids. I mean, it's just incredible how you can go through so much and be so sick, but yet you'll make one little joke and she'll start smiling again. That's what's so awesome about her.
I think I've seen her not smiling maybe once or twice, and with how much pain she's been in and discomfort she's had and the frustration of being in a room over and over again for weeks at a time, I would say she's handled it incredibly well, much better than I ever would.
Yeah, it's amazing the strength that you can see come out of a child. It shows you as an adult, how weak you are.
There were times that she wasn't able to leave the room because of how sick she was. So we did a lot of painting, and she's got even a ceiling tile that they allowed her to paint. And so that's something that will, it'll be there forever, and we'll get to go back and look at that and remember how much fun we had. And then there's times that she wasn't as sick, and so she was able to leave the room, and they have this huge playroom area where she could play with all kinds of dolls and toys and just kind of give her the sense of feeling normal again. And then that outdoor area was her favorite place to go. Under our circumstances, she had a great time, and everyone there was so sweet and so nice and loving. You don't think it's a big deal, but to a kid, it's everything. To feel normal, to have fun things to do, and just, not to feel like you're a sick child, So they've done so much for us, they've done so much for our community, and I'm very thankful.
Alissa was in and out of our hospital a lot during her chemotherapy time, and I'm sure it was a huge relief to her grandmother and all of her siblings that they could just be local instead of having to drive 4.5 hours and then stay in the hospital for a week there. That would be just a huge inconvenience for everybody and make the whole thing harder than it already is.
I didn't even know we had that kind of treatment here at Shannon until you have a child that needs it. We'd bring her blanket in, and she could recline and watch TV and get her chemo. So it was nice that was available so that we didn't have to travel and always be away from home, because it just puts more of a strain on the family when we're gone.
And families like Alissa that live here in San Angelo, anytime they need something, or an MRI or some blood work, or they need a blood transfusion because their counts are low, they can just come in that day on our floor, and we're able to give them the medicine or the blood or the platelets that they need. All of these things that I've mentioned are funded by Children's Miracle Network, so we're very grateful for that.
Her cancer has come back, and instead of it in the back where it originally was, it is now in the top of her head.
And now that it's come back so soon, I her prognosis is very poor. We know that she's going to die, and how soon that happens, we don't know, but we know it is going to happen. And she's now getting palliative care and palliative chemotherapy so that she can just be as comfortable as possible while this happens.
You know, sometimes when there's no answers, getting mad and upset at that, and then you come around her and, you know, you feel immature, and then you just can't help but to thank God for what you have at that moment.
She's brought so much life, and she's taught me so much as a person, as a grandmother. She's taught me patience. She's given me hope. It's really hard to describe everything that she is. She is a miracle. And whether she's here or whether she's with Jesus, she's touched everyone's life that she's come across. Everyone's life.
We're here to take care of, you know, the little kids while we can, and just keep them happy and comfortable while we can. She just inspires me to just be the best nurse that I can, or the best person really that I can, and just keep smiling and keep on going every day.
She's just always smiling and just very accepting of the hand she's been dealt with, and it has not been a very good one. And she has just seems to understand everything that's going on, and she seems to understand what's going to happen, and she seems to just have complete faith in God that this is the path that she's on, and there's a reason for it, and she's not letting it get her down, and she's just embracing life to the fullest.
You look at her now, she's just having fun right now, and that's what teaches me something, you know. Learn to appreciate and value what you have now, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Please support Children's Miracle Network
and help a miracle like me.